The final onslaught against the remnants of the Adoni people. You're about to see a video of a woman that is identifying the exact reasons for the genocide of who she identifies as being her people. What she does not know is that she is as much an enemy of her people as the enemy she is against. She is for her religion and against government. What she does not know is that the evil Siamese twin is the government and religion. You can't separate the two. At best, she is just another to mislead her own people into genocide. Let's look at her video, and I will correct her falsehood throughout her video.
If there's one thing that's for sure, is that we know, and our governments also know, that there is a link between mass migration and crime.
That is 100% incorrect. The migration of beast-like humans into the countries of the remnants of the Adoni humans is coordinated between the governments and religions of the world.
Our new reality in Europe consists of frequent rapes, stabbings, killings, murders, shootings, even beheadings. But let me be clear about one thing. This did not used to happen before. This is a newly imported problem.
This is 100% incorrect. We do not fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities up high. The genocide against the Adoni people started approximately 30,000 years ago. The principalities that we fight against on earth are governments and religion.
Samuel P. Huntington predicted this over 25 years ago when he wrote, and I quote, "In the new world of mass migration, the most pervasive, important, and dangerous conflicts will not be between the social classes. They will not be between the rich and the poor. They will be between peoples belonging to different cultural entities. Tribal wars and ethnic conflicts will occur within civilizations." Well, boy, was he right. And the worst part is, we as a society seem to have become indifferent to it.
This is 100% incorrect. The fight is against good and evil. The beast-like humans against the remnant of the Adoni humans. The governments and religions against the remnants of the Adoni humans. The majority of the remnant of the Adoni people have not become indifferent, but love and support the genocide of themselves. They rejoice in being useful idiots.
Ladies and gentlemen, what does that say about us? This is the response of a society that has already given up. A society that has already accepted its defeat. But is this true? Have we given up? Do we really accept the new reality that our globalist leaders have in mind for us? I know one thing for sure, and that is that if nothing changes, if we don't start to seriously fight for our continent, for our religion, for our people, our countries, then this time that we live in will go down in history as the time in which Western nations no longer had to get invaded by hostile armies in order to be conquered. This time will then go down in history as the period in which the invader was actively invited in by a corrupt elite. And not only did this corrupt elite invite the enemy in, they made the native population pay for it too.
This is 100% incorrect. The root cause of today's problems for the Adoni people was written 3,500 years ago. When the Adoni people were instructed in Deuteronomy 23 verse 2 to not have children with the beast-like humans. If so, then their descendants would be mongrels. Is it just a coincidence that the governments of Christian countries are the strongest advocates for the Adoni people to breed mongrels? Her own religion supports the genocide of her people. She is such a hypocrite.
Everyone who has eyes can see it. The native, white, Christian, European population is being replaced at an ever-accelerating rate.
This is 100% incorrect. Religion is growing and the remnants of the Adoni people are getting less. The Christian Europeans are taking on the Muslim religion, which is exactly the same as Christianity. Catholicism means the Universal Church, aka One World Church, which is made up of New Testament and Quran believers.
So I'm going to draw the forbidden conclusion here. The Great Replacement theory is no longer a theory. It's reality. And what's interesting about replacement is that the establishment will either deny its existence, or when they admit to it, they say that it's a good thing that the native European population is soon no longer a majority on its own continent.
This is 100% incorrect. The greatest humans ever to be created were the Adoni humans, who are scattered all around the world. The Adoni remnants are going through genocide throughout the world.
And of course, by now, I think we all know what they mean with the word diversity. It means less white people, less of you.
This is 100% incorrect. A human is not defined by the color of their skin. A human is defined by intelligence, behavior, and features. The Adoni have lost much of their intelligence, behavior, and features, which are mainly found amongst Europeans.
And what are we left with? A permanent state of isolation, confusion, and disorientation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the New World Order.
The three religions with the greatest threat to mankind are the Jewish religion and Catholicism religion, who are the New Testament and Quran believers. They all believe in the final acts of the fulfillment of the New World Order. Firstly, a Messiah that is going to help them defeat their enemies in a great world war. Secondly, the return of their God or Mighty One. Thirdly, they will rule the world. These religions have a common goal of establishing a new world order. Don't be fooled by the wars between these religions. Those that are dying are useful idiots. The elite of the religions and governments are strongly unified for their goal of the new world order, and rejoice in the misery, death, and destruction of millions of people.
So what's the antidote? A strong Christian Europe of sovereign nation states. That's why we need to outright reject the lie that nationalism causes war. It's not nationalism or national sovereignty that causes war. It's expansionism. And where in Europe do we find that nowadays? In one place and one place only: Brussels.
This is 100% incorrect. The countries with the most dominant European descendants and New Testament believers are responsible for the most misery, death, and destruction through their governments and religion, who are using the useful Muslim idiots to do the same. And thirdly, we have the Jews who are waiting for their Mighty One to cause the most misery, death, and destruction. The axis of evil are the New Testament, Quran, and Tanakh believers.
Truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, I think we in Europe do not go far enough. I think that if we really think about the organized, structural attack on our civilization, that we don't do enough. Do we do enough to stop the attack on our families, on our continent, on our countries, on our religion? When we hear about another murder, another stabbing of a young innocent child, do we do enough? When we know that our national sovereignty has been given up in less than a century to Brussels, do we do enough?
She is micro-focused and ignorant of her own ancestors, the Adoni people, who were largely to blame by having children with the beast-like humans, resulting in them losing 90% of their lifespan and intelligence. I'm a positive person and believe that we can still establish the Adoni humans and save mankind from misery, death, and destruction.
The totalitarian institute of the European Union needs to come down. Let me be clear, I don't believe in reforms. When the foundation of your institution is rotten, and that is the case in Brussels, you can rebuild the house on top of it all you want, but it's still going to crumble. So the only answer is the Tower of Babel needs to be destroyed.
This is 100% incorrect. The religions and governments of the world must be destroyed, and the Adoni humans must be reestablished.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the daughters and sons of the greatest nations on earth.
I can write a whole encyclopedia to prove that these sons and daughters are the most evil on the earth, and are evil people that are eating themselves up from within. And we'll briefly explain why with their DEI fairy tale. It's no coincidence that the only countries that have this DEI fairy tale, diversity, equity, and inclusion, stands for the genocide of the remnants of the Adoni people. Nothing more, nothing less. This is not something that has started decades ago. It started 30,000 years ago. The interbreeding between the beast-like and mighty one-like humans is to get rid of the DNA of the Adoni people, leaving the world with a few of the elite ruling over the beast-like humans, who will be the slaves and useful idiots.
What has happened to us? Where do we come from? And more importantly, where are we going? Our elites have declared a war on us, and now it is time for us to put on the full armor of God, fight back, and win. Thank you so much.
Let me give her credit on what she said 100% correct, is that the elite have declared war against the remnants of the Adoni people. What she fails to do is to identify these elite as the religious and political leaders, and are the puppets of the principalities upon high, the primary enemy of the remnant of the Adoni humans. If you want to establish the Adoni humans, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Shalom.